The Judicial Branch of the Philippines. Judicial power is the power and duty of courts of justice to interpret and to apply the laws, including the Constitution, to contest or to disputes concerning legally recognized rights or duties between the state and private persons or individuals, or between private persons or individual litigants in cases properly brought before the judicial tribunal. The judicial power includes the duty of courts of justice to 1. Settle actual controversies involving rights which are legally demandable and enforceable. 2. Determine whether there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack of excess of jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of the government. 3. Pass upon the validity of constitutionality of the laws of the state and acts of the other departments of the government. 4. Interpret the judicial reviews. 5th, render binding judgment.
Article 8, Section 1 of the Philippine Constitution states that the judicial power shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such lower court may be established by law.
Supreme Court is composed of a Chief Justice and 14 Associate Justices who serve until the age of 70. The Court may sit in bank or in one of its three divisions composed of 5 members each. The Chief Justice and Associate Justices are appointed by the President of the Philippines, chosen from a shortlist submitted by the Judicial and Bar Council. The President must fill up a vacancy within 90 days of occurrence. Qualifications of Justice of Supreme Court. First, natural-born Filipino. Second, at least 40 years old. Third, serve at least 15 years as judge of lower court or engage in the practice of law in the Philippines. Must be a person of proven competence, integrity, probity, and independence. Mandatory retirement is imposed upon reaching the age of 70. Section 11. An individual of good behavior. Section 11.
Qualifications for the lower court judges. Must be a Filipino citizen except judges of collegiate courts. At least 35 years old regional trial courts. 30 years old lower courts. Must be a member of IBP for 10 years RTC. 5 years lower courts. Must be a person of proven competence, integrity, probity, and independence. The Congress can prescribe the other qualifications.
There is a question. If an election is formed every 6 years for a new president and vice president, every 2 years will be the election for the Congress. But how about the judicial department?
According to Article 8, Section 8, Paragraph 1, a Judicial and Bar Council is hereby created under the supervision of the Supreme Court. Judicial and Bar Council screens individuals aiming to be part of the judiciary, which is composed of the Chief Justice as ex officio chairman, the Secretary of Justice, and a representative of the Congress as ex officio member, a representative of the integrated bar, a professor of law, a retired member of the Supreme Court, and a representative of the private sector.
Power of Supreme Court. Exercise original jurisdiction over cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consult, and over petition for certiorari, prohibition, mandamus, quoranto, and habeas corpus. Review, revise, reverse, modify, and affirm on appeal or certiorari as the law of the rules of court may provide. Final judgment and orders of the lower courts.
Assign temporarily judges of lower courts to other stations as public interest may require. Such a temporary assignments shall not exceed 6 months without the consent of the judge concerned.
Order a change of venue or place of trial to avoid a miscarriage of justice.
Promulgate rules concerning the protection and enforcement of constitutional rights, pleading, practice, and procedures in all courts, the admission to the practice of law, the integrated bar, and legal assistance to the underprivileged. Appoint all officials and employees of the judiciary in accordance with the civil service law.
Sandigan Bayan. It is composed of 1 presiding justice and 68 associate justices, of all which are appointed by the President from the list submitted by the Judicial and Bar Council.
Court of Tax Appeals. The Court of Tax Appeals in the Philippines is the special court of limited jurisdiction and has the same level with the Court of Appeals. The court consists of 8 associate justices and 1 presiding justice.
Court of Appeals. It is composed of 1 presiding justice and 68 associate justices, all of which are appointed by the President from a short list submitted by the Judicial and Bar Council. We already have 26 Chief Justices in our Philippine Constitution. We have Chief Justice Cayetano Arellano, Chief Justice Victorino Mapa, Chief Justice Manuel Arroyo, Chief Justice Ramon Abansenia, Chief Justice Jose Abad Santos, Chief Justice Jose Yulo, Chief Justice Manuel Moran, Chief Justice Ricardo Paras, Chief Justice Cesar Pingzon, Chief Justice Roberto Concepcion, Chief Justice Kerubim Macalintal, Chief Justice Fred Ruiz Castro, Chief Justice Enrique Fernando, Chief Justice Felix Macasear, Chief Justice Ramon Aquino, Chief Justice Claudio Tijanque Sr., Chief Justice Pedro Yap, Chief Justice Marcelo Fernan, Chief Justice Andres Narbaza, Chief Justice Hilario Davide Jr., Chief Justice Artemio Panganiban, Chief Justice Renato Puno, Chief Justice Renato Corona, Chief Justice Mariela de Sereno, Chief Justice Teresita de Castro, and our present Chief Justice is Lucas Bersamin.